Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. This should be a bit of a fun one. The Aprilia RS660. I've heard some mega good things about this. To be completely honest, straight off the bat, oh, there goes out the Tuono. Anywho, back on the RS660, I am not a massive sports bike guy. I'm more cruiser adventure bike, if I'm being honest, but I'm very interested. I've been keen on this bike for a while, been looking at YouTube videos, reviews, etc. Just interested to see what all of the hype is about. Can it convert me into sports bikes? Enough talking, let's get on the bike and go for an initial ride, and then we'll have a little bit chat later about specs, basically how I'm finding the bike, what it's like to ride, and is it a real world option, really, because these mega, the RSV4 and the Lita sports bikes just seem a little bit much to me. They just scare me a bit. Great for on track, I'm sure, but on the road, do you really need it? I don't know. So let's give the 660 a bit of a try. Here we are, straight into dynamic. 54 world titles, Aprilia. Very good. Some racing DNA there. Oh, it sounds cool. That was really nice. Really deep rumble, actually. First off, massive thank you to, as I'm reversing here, careful not to reverse into another bike, massive thank you to Dearden Motorcycles here in the New Forest for lending me the bike for today. As you can see, Piaggio Vespa, Aprilia, Moto Guzzi, Suzuki. Really nice guys, really nice people. Special thank you to Julie for lending me the bike for today. And guys, a beautiful area to come and test ride a bike. So get yourselves down here if you're interested. First off, this is all a little bit new to me. As I say, I'm really not a sports bike rider. So first off is the riding position. It's a bit taller than I thought. It's an 820mm seat height. I'm sort of on my tiptoes actually, getting my feet to the ground. Yeah, you're right over that front end. Of course, leant forward more than I'm used to, but nothing crazy actually. Doesn't feel too bad. So what is the beating heart? We have a parallel twin with a 270-degree crank. Oh, quick shift is nice. Putting out 100 horsepower, 67 newton meters of torque, so it's a mid-range horsepower. I think it's nice range. 100 horsepower, it's definitely not too much. Just trying to sort these mirrors out. So parallel twin in a sports bike, I'm surprised. Oh wow, jeez, I didn't realise we were going so fast. So it feels, bearing in mind I'm coming from a cruiser bike, it feels really planted, absolutely solid on the road. Quick shifter up and down, very nice on the downshift. Wow, quick shifter is lovely. It's a nice engine, it feels quite meaty. It is a parallel twin, so I am suspecting how exciting is it going to be? Just going to slow down coming into a 40 here. How exciting is this parallel twin going to be? That is one worry. I mean, sports bikes, in my opinion, are meant to be pretty exciting, quite peaky, revvy motors. So we'll give that a bit of a test. We're in the New Forest, so I'm going to try and find some roads without the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit on. I'll catch up with you in a second, but what a beautiful scenery it is here. It's much better off on an adventure bike or cruiser in this area, actually. But catch up with you in a bit. Find some roads, get to know the bike a little bit better, because I need to bed it in and get used to it. It's all a bit foreign to me at the moment. A few twisties here. Standout feature, obviously, I'm not used to bikes handling like this. Oh, it feels very nice. I gotta say, I'm a little bit frustrated. I need some bigger roads to open it up on a bit, which I'm still searching for, but so far so good. I'm struggling to get massively exciting vibes from it, and I think that's because it's a parallel twin. It's got a 270-degree crank to give it a bit of character, and it is a lovely motor. It feels premium, smooth, lots of punch to it. It's not crazy fast, but nice torque to it because it's a twin. But yeah, I'm not getting any majorly exciting vibes from it, but let's keep going, try and find the right roads for her. I must say, actually stand out, it's quite comfortable. For a sports bike, it feels really nice. It feels more like sort of in between a sports bike and a naked bike, really. It's really not uncomfortable. I'm 5'9", about 11 stone. Very, very comfortable place here. Even with a rucksack on, I could ride like this all day. Seriously. May get a bit of a sore bum after a while, but nothing too bad. Yeah, when you rev her out a bit, ooh, it gets a bit more exciting, that's for sure. Sounds fantastic as well. That's a really nice exhaust note. Nice airbox noise as well. Yeah, it comes more together when you can pick up the pace a bit, that's for sure. That's the thing about these sports bikes though, you really do need, you just need the road for it. I mean, they absolutely shine on a fantastic road, but how often do you get those ideal conditions? It's a real conundrum for me. I suppose this is less of a specific review on this bike rather than just my experience and thoughts on sports bikes. Like, it works on this because it's not ridiculously fast, and it's actually usable on the road. It feels very nice. I wouldn't describe it as a crazily fast, too fast bike for the road at all, but just like now, bundling along, in realistic, you got speed limits. Okay, you're not in the New Forest every day, but there's speed limits. How often can you really give it the beans, even on a 660 like this? And you're quite length forward. How often can you really dig in and lean into corners? I don't know, that's just my thoughts on it. However, you can have fun with it, that's for sure, even at lower speeds. Everything feels quite, I'm going to describe it as smooth, quite really well put together. Yeah, it's feeling really nice. A quick shifter from first to second is very good even as well if you're on the throttle. Coming into the corner, I'm still getting used to the handling characteristics of it, but it's not as darty, as nimble left to right as I assumed. But once you're in the corner, I think it's a different style of riding to what I'm used to. You can really commit to it a bit more. So into a national, hopefully now it'll make a bit more sense. Yeah, there's no surprises there, just pulls steadily, very linear power delivery. We're stuck behind a load of traffic, it's not going well. Okay, so just whilst we're here, I just want to demonstrate the airbox, that sort of intake noise. It's the same as on the Touareg 660. So you don't know if you can hear it. That noise there, whoa, that deep bellow is addictive, really nice. Oh, cattle grid, slow down. Sensible time. Right, my apologies, this has not been a very comprehensive review so far due to speed limits, but we're getting there, we're getting to a road. But one point worth noting, even now, just cruising along, we're going 40 miles an hour, put it into third. It's not uncomfortable, and I said earlier I could ride this for a good few hours, but my nether regions are starting to get a bit squashed on the tank. I'm just not used to that. I'm used to the more cruiser, adventure, sports tourer, not so much of a sports bike. And this isn't even a hardcore riding position. Like I said, it's pretty comfortable, but I am getting pushed into the tank. Oh, however, it's quite nice to lean your elbow on the fuel tank here. That's a lovely position, sit a bit more upright. I don't know what, I suppose what I'm saying is, I mean, they're not built for just taking out and cruising around. Of course it's not, it's a bloody sports bike. What am I saying? For cruising around at 40 miles an hour, enjoying the scenery. It's built for going fast, and we've proved that by going slow and not enjoying it too much. There you go, that's a bit of a worth the review there. Some twisted way. And even on the bumpy roads, it's a little bit, even when you do get on it, a little bit bumpy. I really just need to find like an ideal smooth A road. I think that's one of the only places you can enjoy a bike like this unless you're on track. I sound like I'm being really negative. Like I say, I'm not a sports bike guy, so please, if you're really into your sports bikes and everything, please don't beat me in the comments by saying, oh, you weren't riding it properly, which I'm not. This is just a normal ride that you would do and go and pick up your bike, and it's not quite doing it for me yet, but we've only been on speed limited roads. How is she in town? How's the sports bike in town? Well, actually, so it's got 3 rider modes. I put her in commute, dull to throttle response, etc. And yeah, it's fine, it's easy in town. It's a really nice light clutch, light gear throw. Actually, it's a good point, the clutch has a really nice feel to it. Yeah, no problems. You've got a lot from the 270-degree crank in the parallel twin, slightly, not clattery, that's not the right word, but some character coming through at slower speeds, just showing that you want to be really not absolutely spanking this engine, but getting on a bit, and then it starts to smooth out and it makes complete sense. But yeah, quite manoeuvrable in town. It's a very light motorbike. It's 183 kilograms wet weight. There you go, that's a big bonus. It's stuff very light compared to most other motorbikes, most other big motorbikes we should say. I just want to get it on some big bloody A roads out in the Swiss Alps or something. It's just not doing it for me here. I've got to be completely honest. Yeah, oh, damn, it feels great when you get moving. It really does. Oh. It is good. I'm not on the right roads. I don't know the area well enough to find the perfect road, but you got to be wary of the gravel as well. You got to be so much more picky when you're on a bike like this on your road. If I was on an adventure bike back there, you're really not worrying about the gravel or the bumps or anything. You've got to be wary of it on a bike like this. Alright, let's go in here and do some speckaroonies of the bike. I think bikes can go free. I'm pretty sure they can. Right, let's find a nice pretty spot to talk over the specifications. Don't know if you can see on the GoPro, it's the Solent here. The Isle of Wight just over there. Huge container ship over there. Anyway, back to the bike. This looks quite purdy. So guys, specs. Let's go over the price. £9,550, down from £10,300 at the moment. So if you're actually after one of these, get yourself a deal. I probably haven't sold the bike too well so far. I just can't bring myself to lie on these reviews, so I've taken it for a ride around the roads I have accessible now. Maybe not the best for a bike like this, but yeah, been able to give you a bit of an opinion on that. Motor, it's a nice motor. I remember it in the Aprilia, the Touareg 660. It's a really nice parallel twin, plenty of character there, and actually in this bike it feels a fair bit quicker than in the Touareg, partly down to the light weight of the RS660 at 183 kilograms wet weight. That is a standout feature. It's a really light bike and the lightest in its class actually. So yeah, it feels very nice for that. So one thing I was surprised about, not being too much of a sports bike guy, the seat height, 820mm seat height. I'm not on my tiptoes, I was wrong earlier. I can flat foot it, but it's higher than I thought, which actually is nice. It gives you a slightly more commanding riding position on the road. Feels like more of a substantial bike. I thought I was going to feel too low to the road, but not at all. Nice riding height, and with that lightweight, it almost feels like a 125. Feels so light and thin around the tank as well. So yeah, you're really confidence inspiring on the road and through the corners. Okay guys, so suspension up front, you've got Kayaba 41mm forks with 120mm of travel, preload and rebound adjustable on the top of the forks, so you're not getting what the bigger bikes come with, semi-active suspension, electronic automatic semi-active suspension as well. It's manually adjustable on here. Like I say, actually some of the roads have just been quite bumpy. It doesn't deal with the bumps too well, but at the end of the day this is a sports bike. I'm not used to riding sports bikes. That is really what they're about. I must say I have a few moments when I've got on a bit and it felt nice. The quicker you go, the better it feels, which is really what sports bikes are about. Okay, brakes up front, you've got two 320mm discs with 4-pot Brembo calipers. The brakes aren't incredible, they're not Stylema Brembos, but actually for the amount of power this bike has and the way it rides and the light weight, actually it's a standout point. I really like the feel of the brakes. They're not too sharp, nice and progressive, and inspire confidence. Yeah. On the rear you have a single 220mm disc with a 2-pot Brembo caliper. Okay, let's jump back on. Go for another cruise. What do you think of the looks? I have never been a sports bike. How many times can I say that? I'm not a sports bike guy, but the looks either. But actually, I could get into these. I can see why people have these in their garage and use it just a few times a year. It's just a nice bit of kit. I would keep it pristinely clean, very much look after. Whereas adventure bikes these days sometimes don't get looked after the best. But this I would want to keep in very good condition. I really like the looks of this. Absolute stunner. I have to say, its competition, the Yamaha R7, I actually really like the looks of that as well. Now I haven't seen it in person, but everything I've seen of it on YouTube, etc., I've really liked the looks of the R7 as well. Kawasaki Ninja 650, not so much. Beautiful day, so nice to get by the coast. Someone flying his kite. The sunshine's come out. God, it's so good. Have you paid for parking? Hope I don't get a ticket. I have been told on good authority that motorcycles go for free, so let's hope that doesn't dent the bank. Yeah, standout point, it feels really light, this bike. It's still very connected to the road. It's not a 125, it's heavier than that, but it does feel light. It feels very engaging to ride. Sand! Really need the Touareg for this. Not ideal conditions. Oh god, it's more. So yeah, the brakes aren't mega strong, but they're quite nice actually. They could be stronger. Got a nice feel to them though. So what about the switch gear? You've got a nice TFT screen at this price, and you're getting a lot of... Well, let's do the switch gear. It's fairly basic. These arrows here, there's not much to flick through. I mean, you've got your max speed, time, trip, odometer, fuel, MPG, etc. Of course, you've got your riding modes as well. Just a button down by your right hand thumb there. You can toggle through those. It's a nice display though. I enjoy the dash, and you get the lights that light up here when you're you're revving it out and reaching those peak revs, which unfortunately we haven't been able to do today. But tech wise guys, this is mighty impressive. Unlike the Yamaha R7, which is very basic, shall we say. It's not a bad thing, but this is more realistic. I think I would go for this option. You got cruise control as standard, which is nice. Wheelie control, engine braking. Got a 6-axis IMU. Yeah, it's really kitted out, this bike, with a lot of tech, which is quite nice to have actually. Even though it is a sports bike, it is nice to have that. I apologise, this is funny. It's been a bit like a safari on a sports bike. Just been riding around a national park, watching out for wildlife. I hope it's not been a completely pointless review for you. I've got a good feel for the bike, and I can tell you it would be very good on some nice roads. But this is a realistic review, isn't it? You don't always get nice roads, let's be honest. Well, these are lovely roads, but you know, ideal roads for the bike you're riding. I'm sure there are some great routes around here, guys. It's just I've been ill prepared and I don't know the area amazingly well. But if you ask Dearden Motorcycles, I'm sure they will give you a good route. It's just I neglected to ask them, so it's my fault. I'm not lying. I've had an absolutely lovely time riding this bike, cruising around these roads, but perhaps it's not been the most useful, applicable review for a sports bike. So guys, tech-wise, you've actually got LED lights all round, and cornering headlights up the front as well, all included in that price. It's really good value for money tech-wise, this bike. Also, what do we have? We have a 15-litre fuel tank, so I suppose not too bad for a sports bike. Probably not ideal for touring, but then you're not buying this bike really for touring, I guess, so not the end of the world. I'll say it's quite nice. It's a lovely shaped tank, and your knees and legs hug the tank and bike very nicely. They're nicely gripping the tank there. So overall thoughts, guys, of how we've had to ride it today. It's impressive. It's a nice bike. It handles well, it goes nicely. It's not set your hair on fire fast. It's really a matter of taste. I can't actually slate the bike because it is very impressive. I just think from a sports bike, from my personal point of view, I'd really be after something a little bit more exciting. The engine, for example, a CP3, the triple from Yamaha, or a Peaky inline 4. It's really just personal preference. That it is quality feeling, this, and once you do get a move on, it starts to really make sense. But whether it's exciting enough for what I was expecting from a bike like this, I don't think it is for me personally, but that's just me. I recommend a ride on it and make your own mind up on that. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope it's been worth your while watching the video, and I shall see you in the next one. Shout out to mental health awareness. Stay happy, whatever you're riding out there. Just enjoy the ride. You can enjoy all different sorts of motorbikes on two wheels. It gets you out, gets you in the fresh air, nature, makes you feel alive. That's what it's all about. So yeah, peace out and ciao bella. See you in the next one.